Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. So the subject of my talk today is autophagy and fasting. So the word autophagy can be, as I am pronouncing, or autophagy, but it's the same thing. And what it means basically is self-eating. So the effect of autophagy on health and disease, that is what I would be discussing today. So autophagy means self-eating, and in cell biology, this term is applied to the important function of the lysosomes, where they retrieve the damaged organelles within the cell, break them down into their constituent basic amino acids, and return them to the cell for reuse and repair. This process has been known to biologists for a long time, but in 2016, a Japanese scientist, Yoshinoro Osumi, studied the subject in much more detail and discovered some of the genes and regulatory mechanisms for the process of autophagy. The subject is so important that he was awarded the Nobel Prize for his work in this field. So as we know that cell is the basic building block of the body, and each cell has many organelles within it. These are small structures within the cell. A young cell is like a new car. Its engine and other parts work well, but within years of use, problems starts to happen. The damaged and malfunctioning parts of the engine have to be repaired or replaced. In a cell, this process comes built in. So this is the lysosome, and the lysosome within the cell has the ability to recognize the damaged parts and forms a vacuole around those damaged parts. It engulfs them, and it then releases hormones and chemicals to digest those parts and break them down to basic amino acids, which are released back to the cell for rebuilding the structures within the cells. So this is a very important process, because with food, we can get only half the amount of amino acids that are actually required for regular cell repair and making the structures within the cell. So the rest of the amino acids come from the breakdown of these structures which are damaged within the cell. So if this function of the lysosome does not work properly or lags behind, many illnesses can occur, such as increased risk of some cancers, asthma, Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, Parkinson's, etc. So these are common illnesses which are affecting more and more people these days, and these are all affected by defects in the process of autophagy, meaning cell autodigestion. So the question was, once it was discovered that autophagy has influence on these things, that how to influence the process of autophagy to improve it so the health of the person can be improved. So therefore, people are trying to find those things. And so far, there are not any drugs which can actually reliably stimulate the autophagy for the better. And therefore, the only known thing that Dr. Osumi actually found when he was working in his lab, he was working on this yeast cell. And he found that in a resting phase, there was actually very little activity in the lysosome. But when this same cell was starved of food, the vacuole became very large in size and became very active. So it started functioning much better. So basically, fasting is a very reliable way of stimulating autophagy within the cell. And basically what it means is that we improve the repair and rebuild of structures within the cell, and hence we improve the health of that cell. So in a study in recent in a study in 2010, this was found, and this is more important. Like the studies are mostly in brain cells or neurons, because of the illnesses I already explained, that Parkinson's and memory loss and those type of things. And this autophagy, if it works properly, and if it can be improved with fasting, in fact, increases its function of cleaning up the neurons, which make the nervous system, including the brain, spinal cord, and the nerves in our body. And these models where starvation actually improves the process of autophagy have been demonstrated in vitro, and it can be shown that they remove the damaged mitochondria in the neurons and other cells of the body as well. So in short-term food deprivation or food restriction, it induced a dramatic upregulation of autophagy in cortical and Purkinje neurons. In vitro models have shown that starvation in neuronal cell lines can remove toxic molecules and damaged mitochondria from the neurons. And another study in Washington State University in Missouri, in St. Louis, it was demonstrated that if you fast these cells in the heart, so if ischemia happens, it would be smaller, the size of the infarct would be smaller, and your recovery from the heart attack, which is an infarct in the heart muscle, would be faster and easier and better. So basically what I'm trying to demonstrate is that process of autophagy has a benefit in improving the cell health and, as a result, health of the person itself. Same has been shown in cancer, that cancer also is affected positively, meaning less cancer, risk of cancer, better treatment of cancer, recovery from cancer if autophagy can be improved. And as we have seen, that there are no reliable medicines at this time which can actually improve the process of autophagy. The only thing that works is fasting. So the question is how to fast, because if we Google fasting, you will find all kinds of fasting. The fast should be how long, day fasting, night fasting, wet fasting, dry fasting, 2-day fast, 5-day fast, even 7-day fast, and how long you should fast. So the research is now showing gradually over time, now the studies are coming up, which are showing that fasting means complete restriction of caloric intake. Even if you take 10 calories of food, that would break your fast. So, and also, the fast should be continued for a number of hours. And the best time is between 12 and 16 hours, so which is the Islamic fast. And then fasting should be continued intermittently, not like continuously for days, but intermittently over a period of days or weeks. So exactly like it has been prescribed in the Muslim fast. And it should not be too long, like not 24-hour fast. And we have been told to eat sehri and break the fast. And so this type of fasting actually is being proven by medical literature and evidence that it works much better. So in Islam and all forms of worship, not only provide spiritual benefits, but they are also beneficial in terms of physical health, psychological well-being, and social and cultural harmony. This is why God has called this religion the religion in perfect harmony with the nature. And all of its tenets and worships, they improve actually human health also. So these days, fasting is the big deal. And if you Google fasting, it will come up first. And I have not talked about effect of fasting on insulin, obesity, and diabetes. That's a separate subject altogether, but I just wanted to mention this part, which actually earned Dr. Osumi a Nobel Prize. Jazakallah.